Hi everyone, this is Kannababu. Today we'll discuss about what is the main difference between .NET Framework and .NET Core. I think you all are familiar with .NET Framework as a .NET developers. You're quite comfortable with C Sharp .NET, ASP.NET, ASP.NET MVC, WCF. These are the old .NET technologies. People are familiar with ADO.NET and web services, all these things. Yes or no? So generally, first of all, you must know what is .NET Framework. .NET Framework is a software framework. It is a framework. Framework is nothing but it is a software which provides some set of class libraries. Which provides some set of class libraries to develop the application. If you want to develop the application, we need to take the support of some predefined classes, methods, namespaces, and everything. These all are provided by .NET Framework. So whenever we install .NET Framework, then automatically it will give support for other languages and technologies to develop the application. And .NET Framework is a it will provide support to execute the application. It provides a runtime environment to run the application. That is nothing but CLR. So the advantage of .NET Framework is two things. One is it provides some set of class libraries to develop the application, and it is responsible to run the application also. It will give internally CLR for memory management, JIT compilation, everything will done by this CLR. CLR is responsible for memory management. Is it clear? Memory management means allocating the memory and deallocation of memory. So .NET Framework is a runtime environment which is responsible to develop the application and is responsible to run the application, both the things. It provides some ready-made class libraries to develop the application. Like if you want to work with ADO.NET or WCF or MVC, ASP.NET or C Sharp.NET, some predefined classes, methods, namespaces, these all are kept in some class libraries. Like for example, in .NET we have different topics are there. Like if you want to work with collections, or if you want to work with generics, or if you want to work with threading, is it clear? Or if you want to work with some ADO.NET database connectivity, or if you want to work with WCF or XML or files, etc. Microsoft has given a lot of predefined classes, methods, namespaces under base class libraries. So in olden days, we used to use this .NET framework only to provide services for languages and technologies like C Sharp, ASP.NET, MVC, etc. But now you have .NET Core. .NET Core is also similar like .NET Framework. It provides some advanced base class libraries which will provide support to develop the web applications by using ASP.NET Core. So don't confuse with .NET Core and ASP.NET Core. ASP.NET Core is similar like your ASP.NET MVC. .NET Core is similar like your .NET Framework. Is it clear? Framework is an environment which will provides in Microsoft every software will be released as a in the form of framework only, but the top level framework is .NET Core and .NET Framework. Is it clear? It will also provide some advanced base class libraries and some new features are added. What is that? We'll discuss today. That is our topic actually. Okay, na? .NET Framework versus .NET Core. Is it clear? So don't confuse with .NET Core and ASP.NET Core actually. Generally, as a .NET developer, we will companies also will announce openings on .NET, looking for .NET developers. But actually, the interview will be on C Sharp.NET, ASP.NET, and SQL Server and WCF Web API, etc. Similarly, Java students will learn Java, Python students will learn Python, .NET students will not learn .NET. They will learn C Sharp.NET, ASP.NET, ASP.NET MVC, SQL Server, etc. Similarly, .NET Core is also a framework which will provide services to develop different types of applications. So, what is the main difference between this .NET framework and .NET Core? We'll discuss actually. So, first point here you can see what is .NET framework means. .NET framework enables the developers to develop different types of applications. And whatever the applications you can develop, like console application, Windows Forms applications, web applications, some mobile-based applications like Xamarin Forms, whatever the applications that you developed by using .NET framework, it will run only under Windows operating system because Microsoft has not given flexibility. to run .NET applications under third-party operating systems like Linux or Unix or Mac, etc. Is it clear? It is given flexibility only to run the applications under Windows operating system. Is it clear? Any type of application in under .NET framework, it will run only under Windows operating system. .NET Core is a cross-platform. First time Microsoft has given a flexibility to run the .NET applications under multiple environments like Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac, etc. It was given compatibility was given for the .NET Core to run the applications under different operating systems. .NET framework was licensed version. Proprietary software framework means generally in companies, developers want to work with this .NET framework or your Visual Studio Editor, they need to purchase that one. Those all are licensed. But .NET Core is open source, so anyone can directly download for any type of operating system, any type of hosting environment it will support. Not only Windows operating system, it will support Linux, Unix, Mac, etc. That first time after so many years, Microsoft developers are looking for this open source. Is it clear? That was provided under .NET Core environment. And here .NET framework. If you develop in olden days, if you develop any application by using ASP.NET or ASP.NET MVC, these applications can be deployed only under IIS. IIS is a web server. It is the default web server for .NET applications. So .NET generally Apache, these all are also powerful. Mostly Java applications, Python, PHP applications, they will go for Apache, JBoss, etc. But this flexibility is not given by Microsoft in olden days. Only Microsoft restricted the .NET applications to run under IIS. But now, if you develop any application in .NET Core, by using .NET Core as a framework, you can deploy the application under any environment. It will support, and a new web server is also introduced, that is Kestrel web server. We'll discuss about that. So .NET Core offers a flexible development model. Whenever a latest version of .NET Core gets launched, it can be instantly updated on one machine and thereby gets uploaded in new directories without affecting the existing applications. Is it clear? So that point we'll discuss anyway. But nowadays, if you develop any application .NET Core, that application will run on any environment, not only under IIS. Microsoft has given a flexible server, that is Kestrel web server. A new web server was released in the market, that is Kestrel web server. What is the beautiness of this Kestrel web server? First of all, the request will go to this Kestrel web server. In olden days, directly request will go to the IIS, right? But now Kestrel web server is responsible to handle the request, and it will responsible to communicate with any type of servers. .NET framework is not cloud ready applications. Means nowadays cloud is very popular, cloud computing, because microservice based architecture definitely requires cloud environment. Is it clear? Cloud means software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. Is it clear? In olden days, we need to maintain the every burden will be taken care by the company only. The servers burden, data centers maintenance, network administration, maintenance, and everything. So a lot of application development will be very costly. Cloud means cloud will provide the services via internet, software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Lot of cloud technologies are popular in the market nowadays. Azure, AWS, GCP, Google Cloud provider. Top ranking is Azure. Microsoft Azure is very powerful. Even for .NET developers also, companies will use Azure. Azure also different sections are there. Azure admin will be there. Azure DevOps will be there. Lot of things will. Azure developer will be there. Like lot of roles will be there. Azure data engineer will be there. Is it clear? So if you develop any application in .NET Core, that application will flexible to deploy on cloud environment. Directly you can deploy the .NET Core application under cloud. Mostly microservices means multiple services will be there. Multiple servers are required. So purchasing these servers are also very costly. That is why we'll go for cloud, pay for usage. How much service we are using, for that service only companies must. If you develop any application .NET Core, that application performance is less compared with .NET Core. .NET framework, if you develop any application, because lot of burden will be take care. If you develop any application olden days, 70% of the code was written by the developer. Manual coding is more. When manual coding is more, obviously performance will reduce, because the developer will unnecessarily create the objects for the classes, unnecessarily repetition of code. Lot of things will be there. But today's world is frameworks world. Even go for Java, Spring Boot, or Flask in Python, or .NET Core, or Angular, or Blazor. These are all high-end frameworks. What they're doing means 70% of code is ready-made. The framework will decide the object creation, all the other things. Yes or no? Developer responsibility is very easy. Like nowadays, if you compare, automatic cars came. Automatic cars means driver responsibility is very less. No gears, only two gears will be there, front gear and reverse gear. No clutch, only brake and accelerator. So that the driver can concentrate only on driving. So framework will give flexibility to the developers to develop the applications very fastly. For rapid application development, we'll use what? These frameworks. And supports ASP, your .NET Core supports ASP.NET Web Forms, Web API. Even MVC also it will support .NET Framework, but .NET Core we can develop web applications by using MVC. ASP.NET is not supported in .NET Core. You cannot see any option in Visual Studio Editor when you want to work with .NET Core. It will not support your ASP.NET Web Forms. Is it clear? And the .NET Framework does not support middlewares, but .NET Core, very powerful topic is there. Middlewares will be there, and via this middlewares only the request processing will be done in .NET Core. What is that middleware? How to work with that middlewares? We'll discuss in future. .NET Framework supports only IIS web server. .NET Core supports Kestrel web server. Kestrel is a new web server that was introduced. Until we have, from past 20 years, we are discussing only about IIS. In olden days, we have one more web server called ASP.NET Development Server, but later IIS. But now, .NET application also can deploy on any environment, not only under IIS. And .NET Framework supports multi-page applications. .NET Framework, like if you want to work with ASP.NET, we'll use master pages. In MVC, we'll use layouts. .NET Core given a flexibility to work with single page applications with the support of Blazor. Here we can use Blazor. Blazor is a framework actually, a front-end application framework, which is used to develop the front-end application. Similar like Angular, it also supports the single page application. Angular framework internally uses TypeScript as a language. Blazor will use C#. Means directly C# code will execute on browser. That was a successful framework developed by Microsoft, and it was integrated along with .NET Core. It supports Blazor. .NET Framework will not support Blazor. And dependency injection. What is this dependency injection? Dependency injection means generally when you develop any application, multiple classes will exist within your application. And your application is developed by following some different architectures, different layers. Is it clear? So if multiple classes are existing within your application, communication between these classes are required. And the communication between these classes will happen by creating what? Objects. How one class can communicate with another class means just by creating what? Objects. So in manual object creation is recommended in web application development. Actually, if you develop any application, here your application consists of different layers are there: presentation layers, business logic layer, some service layer, some database will be there. If you develop any web application, this is your presentation layer, this is your business logic layer, this is your service layer, or this is your data access layer, this is your database. So data access layer is nothing but what? Class. Is it clear? And the business logic layer is also nothing but what? It is also a class. Presentation layer is also a class. Some web form 1 or page 1, whatever it may be. Is it clear? Now these all classes must interact with each other. How business logic layer will interact with the data access layer means by creating an object. So manually we have to create the object. DAL D is equal to new DAL of. Manual object creations are required. So manually when you create an object for one class inside another class, you can tell that both the classes are tightly coupled with each other. Generally, in a olden up to ASP.NET MVC, we used to create the object by using new keyword. But coming to .NET Core or any Blazor or any Angular applications, inbuilt dependency injection mechanism is there. You no need to create any object. The framework will create the objects. Just you register the middlewares. Middlewares are nothing but some individual services. Like if you want to work with MVC, one middleware is there for MVC. If you want to work with entity framework, DB context, some middleware is there. Some static files, some middlewares will be there. If you just register these middlewares, then automatically the framework will create the object and the framework will inject the objects within your particular controllers. That anyway we'll discuss in depth in future classes about what is dependency injection, how to implement dependency injection, all these things we'll try to discuss. So .NET Core by default it will support dependency injection. Dependency injection means object creation must be through some external resources. Manual object creation is not recommended. Object will be created by the framework or from some third party, and these objects will be injected within your particular application. So as a developer you must know how to use that. Is it clear? So inbuilt dependency injection mechanism is there in your .NET Core. Is it clear? All middleware services are existing. In order to create the communication between these middlewares, some inbuilt dependency mechanism will be available. .NET Framework does not support dependency injection. And in ASP.NET or ASP.NET MVC, you can see global.sx file. Global.sx file means it consists of the different types of events like application underscore start event, some session start event. So generally, whenever you deploy any application on the server, the first person in this world trying to access the application, then when the request is going to the server, first of all, for the first time, the first request global.sx file only will execute. Their application underscore start event will fire. This event will fire only one time, that is for first time when the first request was made to the server. So in .NET Core you don't have global.sx file. Here we have a separate file called startup.cs file. Have you ever seen the miracle that have you seen which one? In Visual Studio Editor, generally when you work with ASP.NET or MVC, we have not seen any main method. Only console applications we can see the main method. Main method is not available. Is it clear? But in .NET Core, program execution starts from main method only. Is it clear? There in web application, you don't have main method in ASP or ASP.NET MVC. But here, similar like global.sx file, you have startup.cs file will be there. And the minimum version that you want to work with Core is 2019. Inbuilt .NET Core environment is available. Old versions of Visual Studio will not support. Okay, na? So better you try to make that Visual Studio 2019 is available. Is it clear, everyone? And here you can see, just I'll create a new project. Just I'll show you. Later we'll discuss about all the things. And here we can see what are the different applications that we can develop. Is it clear? By using .NET Core. So just create a new project. Here you can create a new project. There it will ask you to give the project name. The environment is somewhat different actually, like your regular Visual Studio. But here it will not support ASP.NET. If you want to work with ASP.NET Web Forms application, better to go for regular 2019 below versions. 2019 minimum core application it will support. Here you can see ASP.NET Core Web Application. Did you got clarity on what is core .NET Core and ASP.NET Core? Similar like .NET Framework and ASP.NET MVC. Both are frameworks there. .NET Framework will provide services like providing base class libraries to develop the applications for different technologies and frameworks. Here also .NET Core also will provide some set of class libraries giving support to ASP.NET Core web application. So here you can see. Here you can see a lot of applications it will support. You can see here. We can develop the ASP.NET Core application. We can develop gRPC application. gRPC means remote protocol call. Something like web APIs. If you want to invoke the web APIs in a beautiful manner, you can use this gRPC and some Windows services. You can create some console applications, etc. So select ASP.NET Core Web Application Demo App. I will try to give, click on Create button. I think it is already there. Demo application I will try to give, and here click on Create. Then automatically it will show you the different applications that we can develop. Are you following, everyone? Here you can see API application means web API. If you want to create a empty web API, you can create web application with Razor syntax, no MVC. This is web application with MVC application, MVC, and it is given support for Angular, React.js, Redux, some third party and everything. Is it clear? Here I will select some MVC application. 60% of MVC knowledge is required. Oops, HTML. These two are enough actually. If you don't know MVC also I'll cover. But similar, those who already have the knowledge on MVC, some part of the MVC concepts are helpful in .NET Core, like Razor syntax, some topics, scaffolding, entity framework. These all will be supported. So generally in normal Visual Studio, you can see at the time of developing web application, you can see global.sx file. Here you have startup.cs file. So now here let us see, once when we enter into your Visual Studio, here you can see some solution explorer. Here you can see one separate file called program.cs. Here you can see, there you can see web.config file is there in your regular web application. Here you have app settings.json, no XML files. Web.config is an XML file. Now here you can see app settings.json. If you want to declare the connection string globally or any authentication details globally, we'll use this file. Until now, I think we have not seen this file, app settings.json file. Some modifications was done in .NET Core application. And here you can see program.cs. You cannot see program. Here you see. This is your JSON file. Here if you want to declare any connection string, you can declare within your app settings.json file. Most responsibility is to declare the connection string globally. And here if you go to program.cs, here you can see main method is available. Here also program execution start from main method. Here you can see. Even web application, you can see program execution start from main method. And this main method is responsible to run this startup file, startup.cs. And this startup.cs is very powerful. It is used to register the middlewares, static files. All these middlewares are registered within your particular startup.cs file. Then dependency injection will be taken care by the framework. The startup.cs is similar like your global.sx file. Okay, now this app settings.json is similar like your web.config file. And here you can see some www root is there. It is also a very powerful folder which consists of all the JavaScript related files, CSS related files, or the third party libraries. All are some bootstrap third parties like jQuery, Bootstrap, Angular. All these are available under www root. So bundling and minification will become very easy here. Did you understand? So here what we are discussing about the difference between .NET Framework and .NET Core. Yes or no? So that's what I'm telling. Inbuilt dependency injection mechanism will be available. So what is this dependency injection? I will start the design patterns also. I will cover in this syllabus, like singleton, factory, repository, dependency injection. Nowadays, all framework supports dependency injection. And the object creation is responsible by the framework, and the framework will inject the objects within your particular application depending on the requirement. And it will create only single object. It will follow internally singleton also. So that's the point I'm telling. .NET Framework supports global.sx file. Your .NET Core supports www root. Startup.cs file. And there is one separate file is available under .NET Core, that is www root. That fault is not available in .NET Framework. .NET Framework mostly supports monolithic application. Yesterday I told you about what is monolithic application. Monolithic application means total application was deployed in one server and the database belongs to the application kept in one server. Is it nowadays the current trend is microservice based applications. If anybody missed that class, you can watch the yesterday's video I posted. Yes or no? What is monolithic application, microservice based application? Is it, for example, in olden days what happened? If you take IRCTC application, multiple customers will interact with that particular IRCTC. So all the requests are going to the server. So at a particular point of time, the when Tatkal was open, the burden on the server will be increased because the customers who will try to book the train tickets. Meanwhile, the other customers who want to check the PNR status or who want to cancel the train tickets or who want to update the train details, the employees of IRCTC, there the server will become burden on the server. So today's world is microservices. Very beautiful. Everyone is following that one. Even Java people, they will use microservice in Spring Boot. If you have any doubt about microservices, just go to YouTube and search different .NET Core Part 1 by Kannababu. If you search, you can get the difference between monolithic application and microservice based application. And now one more popular is Docker. So what is this Docker means? Generally, I think you're familiar with different types of downloads. You will try to download the lot of softwares from internet. Is it clear? Mostly when you try to download any file, sometimes the best example I can tell you, generally in real time what happen, there are different types of servers are available. Like development server will be there, production server will be there, testing server will be there. When the application is under development, application will be placed under development server. So all the developers will access that particular application via dev server. And then application will move to testing server, from dev server to testing server. And there the test engineers will involve, and test engineers will do testing for your particular application. And finally, when the testing, all the levels of testings are successful, like unit testing, module level testing, like integration level testing, like real testing, retesting, segregation testing, regression testing, smoke testing, sanity testing. Different levels of testings are there, but the developer will do only unit testing. Unit is a small piece of code. That's why generally when you go to any company also, interviewer will ask you, do you have any knowledge on unit testing? You have to tell yes. You cannot tell I am not a test engineer. Why you are asking this question to me? Unit is nothing but a small piece of code that was written by developer. So who will write the code? Developer. Who will test the code? Developer only. So the testing that was done by developer is called as unit testing. Is it clear, everyone? So now coming to this concept, what I'm telling. So application was developed in one environment, and after developing the application, this application must move to another environment. So the problem here is at the time of the application which was developed in one machine, that application will run successfully in that particular machine. But once when you move that application from one server to another server, the settings may be different. For example, you develop the application Windows operating system, but in the production server you have Linux is there, or some other configuration settings will be there. So that settings may not support your application. So there may be a chance of not running your application in production server. This type of issues will be there in real time. Similarly, sometimes if you can also experience this scenario when you try to download any softwares in your laptop. Sometimes it will ask you, please install some Java, please install some .NET framework. Just unknowingly, we'll try to click that next button, because our machine is not supporting that application will not run successfully in our machine. Some third-party softwares we need to expect. Some dependency problems will be there. The application that was developed in one machine will not run successfully on another machine. Is it clear? And another problem is something like versioning problem also will be there, because different updates will be there. .NET old versions as well as latest versions will be there. And because of this versioning, there may be a chance of losing of compatibility issues also will be there. Is it clear? For example, we cannot run multiple. So for example, you want to install four .NET versions in your laptop. You want to install Visual Studio Editor, multiple versions. SQL Server, multiple versions you want to install. But when you install the latest software, it will provide what? Some errors, because some dependencies, already old software dependencies will be there. No, it may not allow you to install the new softwares or new updates. These are the common problems that will be available. So to overcome all these problems, Docker is a tool that was provided. Is it clear? So if you run the application under Docker, it will set the dependencies. Is it clear? And mostly it will helpful for microservice based application. Microservices means multiple application divided into multiple services. One service will run on multiple servers under cloud. So integrating all these services is easy when you work with Docker. So we'll try to cover Docker also in our course. Don't worry about that. In future we'll discuss about this Docker. And coming to .NET framework. .NET framework is heavyweight. .NET Core is lightweight because there are no middlewares in .NET framework. No dependency injection is there in .NET framework. So it is heavyweight framework. .NET Core is a lightweight framework. And in .NET framework supports a runtime environment, that is CLR. CLR is responsible for memory management and JIT compilation, everything. Is it clear? So until from past MVC onwards, we depend on CLR only. But now here in .NET Core, they improved CLR with some core CLR. Some .NET Core virtual machines are introduced. JIT compilation is improved. Memory management is improved. So obviously performance is also improved if you develop the application by using .NET Core. And .NET Framework supports security and exception handling. No problem for that. It supports security as well as exception handling. But .NET Core, it improved the security concept and authentications, authorizations, some API to core application communication, some new RPC calls. A lot of things was implemented actually. Exception handling is also improved. Lot of improvements was done. And here you in .NET framework, it supports some base class libraries. I told you, if you want to work with collections or generics or ADO.NET or WCF, Microsoft has given some set of class libraries. Is it clear? Under namespaces. Namespace is collection of classes. Base class libraries is collection of namespaces. But whatever the class libraries given by .NET Core and .NET Framework, it was supported only for ASP.NET, MVC, WCF, etc. But some new libraries was added under .NET Core to work with ASP.NET Core applications. .NET Framework supports ASP.NET Web Forms. If you want to work with ASP.NET Web Forms, you can go for .NET Framework. .NET Core does not support ASP.NET Web Forms. And .NET Framework, we can use develop ASP.NET, ASP.NET MVC, desktop application, Windows Forms application. .NET Core is not recommended to develop desktop applications. You can develop UWP application, Universal Windows Program. Means if you develop any application, that application will run on any Windows platform. It may be mobile, and if the mobile is using Windows operating system, or it may be a browser or tablet or anything. Is it clear? These are the main differences between .NET Framework and .NET Core. Many people will confuse actually. .NET Core is what, ASP.NET Core is what they were asking. So what I'm telling, .NET Core is similar like your .NET Framework. ASP.NET Core is similar like your ASP.NET MVC. So actually here we are learning ASP.NET Core to develop the applications which supports microservice based applications, Docker support applications, cloud ready made applications with inbuilt dependency injection, with Blazor support, with easily communicate with client side frameworks like Angular. These all features are not supported by older versions of application. Today the generation is totally changed. Is it clear? Companies will looking for .NET developers. Definitely you need to update your skills. Otherwise survival is very difficult. Technologies are running very fast. Companies also don't have time to give training. Did you understand? They want the ready-made developers. Are you following? This is between .NET Framework and .NET Core. Is it clear? So now you may get the doubt when to use .NET Framework, when to use .NET Core. If your existing application is already running under .NET Framework, continue with .NET Framework only. Your regular old technologies, MVC like that. But if your client is expecting to develop a application from scratch level, then go for .NET Core. And one more point, if your application requires to run only under Windows operating system, then go for .NET Framework. But if you want to make your application to run under multiple environments like Windows, Linux, Mac, etc., definitely client will wants to run the application on multiple devices. Amazon application is running only under what? Windows operating system means client will be the loser. No, you want to run the application under Linux, Unix, and other operating systems also. So definitely client will recommend for cross-platform only. Is it clear? And your application requires, if your application is monolithic application and you don't want to update to microservices, then go for .NET framework, .NET technologies you can use. But if your requirement is to develop the microservice based applications, then go for .NET Core. And if your application requires some third parties to work, some third party software, generally in .NET we have NuGet package manager is there. NuGet package manager means it will provide all the required softwares to the developers. Third party softwares like Entity Framework if you want to download, or jQuery or Angular. But some dependency problems will be there because it is not, when you open NuGet package manager, you will get one warning. These third parties are nowhere related with Microsoft. Microsoft will not provide support for all these third parties. It will not support Docker actually. So now if you want to run the services directly from Docker, better to go for .NET Core. Your application uses a, for example, if you want high performance to large scale of users are communicating with the server, and if you want to provide the better service to the server, to the customer, go for .NET Core application. Did you understand? These are the main differences between. So simply what is .NET Core means? .NET Core is an open source and cross-platform framework to build applications that can run on different environments like Windows, Mac, Linux, etc. I hope you enjoyed this session. For more videos, try to like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day. Catch you in the next video. Bye.